Yo, 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 yo. What's good, man? This is your boy at DFSMasterMind _ over on Twitter. Thank you for clicking on the video. Today's date is June the 29th, man. This is another episode of Getting to the GreenLine, man. Today we have 8 games on the main slate. We have 5 games on the early. Hopefully y'all put y'all's lineups in on that. Get to the green line. I didn't come out with a video. My apologies, man, but I was busy, trying to get this information ready for the main slate. I've been doing my research all morning, man. I wanna show y'all that, you gotta put in that work, man. I know y'all can't see all that. My handwriting is sloppy, but I've been spending a lot more time on breaking down numbers more than just emotional feelings, man, who I think is going to do good. I've been, doing more of a stat-based type of research, man. It's been paying dividends too, man. I'm on a nice little roll on DraftKings. I'm feeling good. Last night I had a pretty decent night. I played in those top three, a $5 top 3 wins 50. I did a couple of those, man. Same lineup. End up having a pretty decent night, man. I've been sticking to my strategy, man. I told y'all I kind of like audited myself, man. I updated my process because a week, maybe like a week or 2 weeks ago, I wasn't winning anything, man, and I was just down bad. I don't know what I was doing. I was pretty much making my lineups off, man, I got to play Manny Machado tonight because, and it wasn't really a because. And that's not the type of player I am. I've always been, based my research around the numbers, and I got back into that, man. I kind of just corrected myself, and it's been paying dividends, man. I've been putting in the work, and I want to share something with y'all. I don't know if y'all do this, but one thing that I've been doing, I feel like is really helping me out. I've been paying a lot more attention to the line movements, man. As far as Vegas. When a game opens, they have a total. And then like all the way up till when the game actually starts, if you get on fantasylabs.com and you click on a game, they'll show you the live run total at that time. So if a game opens at, we'll say Baltimore versus Toronto, like today they opened at 4.2, and the live total right now is still 4.2. But if they was to have a jump to like maybe a 4.6, 4.8, that may spark a little interest in my minds, man. I may think about taking a deeper look into that, man, and just seeing what's going on. That's something that I used to do a while ago, especially for NFL, and I kind of got back into it here recently, man, and I've been raking up, man. I ain't gonna lie, dude. Hopefully I can keep this going, but I wanted to share that with y'all, man. Pay attention to those line movements, man. They're really helpful. Like the other day, the Cincinnati Reds, they had a huge jump, and I was all over Cincinnati Reds, man. I was able to cash pretty solidly. I had Billy Hamilton with the leadoff homer. I had Shebler. I had Duvall. I actually did an all-out game stack. I tweeted that the other day. But, yeah, man, like I've been paying attention to that. Follow with some good research, man, based on the numbers. And it's been paying dividends for me, man. So hopefully I'm going to keep it going. And hopefully I can help y'all get to the green line, man. If y'all not already doing that, which I know y'all getting to the green line, man, let's go. But for today, man, today we got 8 games. I'm going to let you know I got 4 pitchers, man. I'm playing on DraftKings mostly. I know normally I play on FanDuel, but I've been so hot on DraftKings, why switch? You know what I'm saying? If it's working, we going to stick to it until I start feeling a certain type of way. But so far, man, I've been doing really good on DraftKings, so I'm going to stay over there right now. Top pitching, man. We got Clayton Kershaw on the slate. He costs a fortune, but I do think he'll be worth it. I'm going to definitely have me some Clayton Kershaw. You got to, man, I feel like. Going up against the Angels don't strike out a ton, but their run total is at 3 right now, man. Like, who does that, man? Their run total is at 3 runs. That's very, very low. Clayton Kershaw is a monster. We all know this. And he actually has good BVP if you're into that. As far as a team, now I'm not sure which batters these stats are for, but he's allowed 28 hits and he struck out 41 people in not the Dodgers lineup, in the Angels lineup. So when you getting more strikeouts than you are hits, that's worth looking at in my opinion, because that's a really hard thing to do. Not a lot of people can do that, and Clayton Kershaw, man, he's just a beast. He's a monster. They're favored in the game, so I'm all in on Kershaw. Not all in. I shouldn't say that, because I'm gonna be running 2 lineups on DraftKings. I'm gonna have Kershaw in one of those, man, and then I'm gonna create another lineup without Kershaw. So, take it how you want it. I'm only making 2 lineups for the main slate. But I will have my exposure to Kershaw. I think he's a must in my opinion. Next pitcher I like Mr. David Price. He's going up against Minnesota, who tends to be a little worse against Minnesota tends to be a little worse against lefties. David Price has a high strikeout potential in this game, and like his props for tonight as far as strikeouts is up there with Clayton Kershaw, man. So you got to take a look at that, man. He's projected to get 7 strikeouts. Now, that's on my information, the websites that I choose to look at. So I'm going to keep that in mind, man. I do think David Price is a decent pitcher. I'm not afraid of – well, I am afraid of the matchup a little bit. I can't just flex like – Minnesota don't scare me, but, we got to take chances to get to the money, man. We got to. And I think he's in a decent spot, man. So I'm going to probably use him on my lineup where I don't have Kershaw. Well, actually, I said that backwards, because on DraftKings, he's very, very cheap. I believe he's like 7 racks, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he's very cheap. But I like David Price for tonight. Moving on to the next pitcher I like, J.A. Happ, man. He's going up against Baltimore. We know Baltimore strikes out a ton. He's going up against a lefty. I think we can take advantage of this matchup, man. And he actually has pretty decent numbers versus not Toronto. I can't talk today, man. I don't know what's going on with me. But he has very good numbers versus Baltimore. If you're in the BVP, man, I tend not to put a lot of weight into BVP, man, because it's a new year, man. Every year is a new year. I can't make cases for some BVP stats like, Batista versus CC, or, just one of the, super high sample size BVP stats, but I'm not sure which batters these are. But versus Baltimore, he has 32 hits and 48 strikeouts. And like I said about Clayton Kershaw, that is not an easy thing to do. Most pitchers in the league will give up more hits than they strike out batters for that team. So that's noteworthy, man. And J.A. Happ has been playing pretty decent baseball. So I like him tonight. And my last pitcher, this is going to be like my dart throw, but I don't even think it's that crazy. Jameson Taillon, man, I like him going up against the Rays. Rays always scare me because of the power they possess, but with that K rate, man, they strike out a ton. Jameson Taillon is a pretty decent pitcher. K rate, K opportunity is there. Not BVP stats on him, but his projected strikeouts is around 6, man. I will round up and get him to 6. And if you looking at it from a 6 standpoint, that's right up under David Price. So I think he's in a decent spot, man. Tampa Bay hasn't been like raking here recently, so I think we can pick on him, man. Like these games have been very low scoring, man, between Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. Hopefully the trend continues, and Jameson Taillon can rack up some strikes and get through the day, man. So I like him. That's gonna be my last pitcher. So my 4 pitchers: Kershaw, Price, Happ, Tallion, man, I like them. Those will be the pitchers I build my lineups around over on DraftKings. I'm probably not even playing on FanDuel today. But yeah, we're going to move on. Top offenses. Toronto has a 5.9 implied run total, or at least that's what it opened at. I'm sure it'll go down a little bit. They're going up against Jimenez, who actually has pretty good BVP versus the team. But, you know, Jimenez is trash, man. Like, they moved him to the bullpen, brought him out. He was looking okay. But he tends to struggle a lot, man. He gives it up. He gives it up. He gives it up. We're seeing Toronto start to get it rolling a little bit. Like in Ubaldo's last start, he went 2 1/3 inning. He struck out 1, walked 4, gave up 7 hits, 2 home runs. And that's negative 17 points, man. That's a no-go, man. And that was versus the Rays. But like I said, they possess a lot of power, man. They're a little scary. But I think Toronto, man, they're going to keep it going. I'm going to be all over a few of these batters. I don't know who I want to use at first base yet, but Justin Smoke is a good option, along with Morales. You know, they're definitely in play. I love the offense. Implied run total, like I said, is 5.9. That is the highest on the slate, I believe. So we can look at them. Next, you got to look at Boston, man, going up against the bum, Cal Gibson. Cal Gibson shouldn't scare anybody. Barely strikes out batters. He will give up some walks. He will give up some hard-hit balls. If you can afford some of these Boston bats, pick and choose who you like, and you should be in a good spot. I'm not going to ramble about them, man. It's Boston Stadium. You know, wind is blowing out at 12 miles per hour, so I like them. Now, this is probably going to be my favorite stack. My favorite stack of the night is going to be the Yankees going up against, in my opinion, the bum James Shields, man. He tends to give it up. One thing about James Shields, you know, if he's in his zone, he will be a very, very decent pitcher. I think with him, he either strikes out a shit ton of batters or he's going to give up a ton of runs. There's no in between. You will never see like just an okay game from James Shields. He either is going to dominate or he's going to give it up. The Yankees have been dominating. Implied run total 5.8 in a hitter's ballpark, and it's supposed to rain, so hopefully, you know, we get that rain out of the way. This game plays through, and I think they'll be low on because of the rain. But I like to target James Shields, man. He gave up 3 homers in his last game. And the Yankees are just hot right now, man. Even on the road, I know they're mainly a home team, but once you get the Yankees playing good on the road, man, let's get it. I think they're in a really good spot. I know Toronto and Boston will be very, very highly owned. So I'm gonna choose the Yankees as my favorite stack. I'm going to try to get as many of these bats as possible. The last stack I wanted to talk about is going to be the Miami Marlins going up against Lugo. I believe Seth Lugo is how you pronounce his name. Yeah. I like Miami, man. Like I said, I was talking about the movement, the line movement, and Miami's line is already going up. And I think the further we get into the day, the more it'll go up. Miami will be very low on, man. A lot of people don't pick these guys, but I think they're in a really good spot versus a bum at pitcher. So I'm going to be using them. And then my only game stack for today is going to be Cincinnati and Milwaukee. I slick like Jimmy Nelson. I think he's a decent pitcher, man, but the implied run total is too high. It's a small ballpark, man. We should see a ton of runs in that game. I like that. That's going to do it for me, y'all. Hopefully this helped. Let's get to the green line, man. Cash out. Bless up, man. Let's have a good day.